Arsenal striker and center players drop deep into midfield, drawing Bayern's center-backs Upamecano and Ta out of defense. Does that sound familiar? Right, I analyzed this exact pattern in my Bayern videos. Kane and Gnabry drop back, opening up space behind them for the fullbacks to run into. Arteta did exactly the same thing against Bayern, beating them at their own game. But why does Arsenal do this, and how have they integrated it into their game? Arsenal plays with a 4-3-1 base formation, but as you can see, they don't have a traditional striker. The central attacking players drop back into midfield, which means that Bayern's man-to-man pressing works to their disadvantage and leaves a big gap in the defense. Let's take a closer look. Arsenal mostly tries to overload the center by having Merino act as a false 9. By dropping back from the striker role into midfield, Merino and Essa as the 10 pull the opponent's center-backs out of the defensive line. As we just saw, this creates a big gap in the defense, as the wingers are wide and stretch the space horizontally. The ball is then circulated until the opponent is as high up the pitch as possible and the ball is with the goalkeeper. The ball is played long and the wide players run into the space, as Saka does in this scene. However, Arsenal does not only open up gaps in the center. When Arsenal overlaps one side with their central players, space is created on the opposite side. The winger then runs into the space in opposite movements to the fullback and can then pass it to the oncoming number 6, who can play the ball into the free space where the fullback is running into, as the opposing defender has been drawn out of position. Here is an example from the game against Bayern. The center moves to one side, leaving space on the right. So there is still one player missing for Arsenal's box midfield. If Saka had started directly in midfield, there would have been no free space there, so he runs into the free space from the dynamic movement. In this scene, the goalkeeper is also integrated, thus creating a numerical advantage for Arsenal. The two center-backs move wide, which gives the goalkeeper more space for the pass, as the Bayern players have to run further outwards. Saka's run opens up space on Bayern's left side, which Arsenal exploits with deep runs by the 6s or the fullbacks. So Arsenal is very flexible in their midfield rotations. They usually play without a striker in their build-up play, but their box midfield can also be completed in other ways through their positional play. Often, the left fullback will invert into the attacking position, or the right winger will move to the right 10 position and the fullback will take over the right side. As soon as the opponent's pressing becomes too high, Declan Rice often drops back into central defense for a 3-man build-up, with Essa taking over Rice's position. Arsenal are always able to create numerical superiority through their rotations, which makes them extremely difficult to press. Similar to Bayern, Arsenal also moves all players deeper into their own half in order to create gaps in Bayern's defense. This gives Arsenal a good residual defense, as many players are behind the ball and overload the zone where the ball is currently located, allowing them to look for the free man and remain in possession of the ball thanks to numerical superiority. Upamecano and Ta are even pulled out into midfield, forcing the two full-backs to play in the unfamiliar position of center-back, which causes problems for Bayern. As Bayern starts to press higher, Elise is now very high up the pitch, which is why Essa moves inside to completely free up Elise's back, as Kimmich follows him. Madwek sees this space and moves further outwards to secure the ball. Rice runs into the space and immediately creates a 2-on-1 situation on the wing, which ends with Arsenal attacking Bayern's backline with 3 players against 2. However, it is not only Bayern and Arsenal who play this style of football, but also other top teams when they play against teams that press high and play man-to-man, as there are no extra players to cover the space. This allows the players to break away from their opponents and then start into the spaces, which can quickly become dangerous, as there are only one-on-one situations throughout the game. This is organized chaos. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to the channel and like the video.